To the Elijah sisters, and we're so excited to have you with us again for another exciting week. Welcome to our show. We're so excited to be back.
We're back on camera, y'all. Y'all can see us again.
We took a few weeks off from the camera just to, relax. You get to relax. We had to relax. But we know you want to see our fabulous faces, and so we're here with you again tonight. Our topic is about, this month is Women's Friendship Month. And so we want to talk about the relationships dealing with women, sisterhood, and how, there's a perception that women can't get along. We want to destroy those mindsets and myths, because I am a firm believer that all women, especially women of color, can get along. So we're going to discuss the topics of particularly women in business, family, and ministry. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited about this topic. This topic actually is so important and close to all of our lives and hearts. So it's going to be a great show tonight. So we're going to dive right in and get right into it. So we had a lot going on in the news today, ladies, this week actually. Were you aware that they released a trailer for the Little Mermaid? Did you watch it?
Yes. And I've been waiting for it, because I remember hearing about it years ago. I'm like, come on, where's the trailer? I'm ready to see the trailer for it.
And I feel like it was like 5 years ago they told us it was coming. So they released the trailer of the, which I wasn't aware for some reason. I don't know why it didn't connect with me that it was going to be a live movie.
Yeah, I knew that then, because that was when they first were talking about live.
It made sense since it was such a big deal around this young lady that was leading it, her being the first Black mermaid for this movie, but they released it, and what I thought was so beautiful was the reaction of little Black girls watching it has gone viral.
That is amazing.
The videos, I literally cried last night watching the videos of little girls who are like probably between like 5 and 10, but especially like the little toddler age girls watching it and like clapping, and they were just like, it was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
to see that iconic character,
right? They saw
as a Black woman,
right, and that was so beautiful. And I just thought, man, I'm of the era. I'm about to date myself, totally tell my age, right? So I literally was in the theater when the first Little Mermaid came out.
I think I saw it about like 10 years later. I don't remember it till then. It was so old. It was so old when I saw it. It was like already a classic.
Okay. You believe that it was a family outing, people.
I don't recall. I do not recall.
Do you remember what state we were in?
I don't recall at all.
I remember that day so clearly. I don't remember what state we were in. But
I do,
I
honestly do remember seeing that in the theater.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing that.
It was wonderful then, but I'm thinking what that would have meant to have seen that live.
Oh my God!
With a Black lead,
we would have been Ariel at the house.
That was the 90s for us. That was like 92, so I was like 14.
Oh, we would have been Ariel.
Yes, I was living for the animated Disney feature films when I was a teenager.
Please. Those were really.
But, in the early 90s, they were just coming out. So, it was just, I'm a theater kid. I'm a musical kid. So it was just the music, all about the music for me. But I've looked at a lot of stuff recently, even just with dolls and things. And I just thought, we didn't have that when I was growing up. And I wish that I would have had it. I wish that my daughter would have had it. It just wasn't even popular when she was little. My daughter was born in 97. This is just, more recent awareness of diversity and inclusion. And, they just recently came out with the Barbie doll for Mary McLeod Bethune. And I was just like, just getting it just because I need it. Just
and even
room, no judgment.
Even when it comes to Disney, the only African American princess we've had is Tiana, and she's not even really technically a princess. Like that's like a stretch to make Tiana a princess, and to have now where we have a black version of Ariel. Ariel's been one of the princesses.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I'm all for it.
Kiana was so
and not to shade, because that's one of my favorite princesses. That's one of my favorite movies that Disney put out in a long time.
I have to admit, I still haven't seen The Princess and the Frog.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll see y'all next week. It's been a pleasure.
I still love this soundtrack.
It might be 2 of us instead of 3.
It kicked me out. This is good.
Me too. But yeah, it's a good
soundtrack for everything that it's worth. But
it's a very good.
A little deeper will take you all the way in.
You got to see the movie. Then you got to see.
I believe that. For me, when things come out and it's this huge rush and everybody's watching it, it's nothing that makes me want to see it.
I think I saw it well after the rush, but I just know it's still one of my favorites.
And then too, as I got older and then I had children, I never was the big, huge cartoon person. And anything animated, so it still was animated, and I was very much an adult when that came out. So that came out. Yeah, we was all grown. It was kind of one of those things like I'll get to it. Listen, I just watched Moana last year, and the only reason.
Are you serious right now? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm disappointed as y'all are. I apologize. I didn't know.
The only reason I watched Moana last year was because, my goddaughters, they're, one is almost 4, one is 6. Mm-hmm. They're pretty much like my daughters. And I had little neighbors that lived next door in the apartment complex where I lived, and the little girls would come by and visit me very frequently. And so they had a movie night, and it was Paramount that we watched Moana. But
Moana is amazing.
I still didn't see it all the way through, but it was on. I think it's a very good movie. Again, love the soundtrack.
I don't know if I've ever been this disappointed in my life.
Well, let me go ahead and finish that.
What else have you not told me?
It can't do. And the only reason
you didn't see Moana.
She said it can't too. It can't too.
Listen, and since you already have a problem with me, I haven't seen Frozen 1 or 2.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
Whatever you want to call it, I didn't watch it.
I don't even know who you are.
It's been on in my house.
I don't even.
And when it was on, I was so tired, and my goddaughters were waking me up with every song, and it was Mommy, you gotta sing the song.
I don't even know who you are anymore, Renee. I don't even know you. I don't know who this person is.
Listen, I put my time in doing the animated stuff.
I put my time in too, but you missing some amazing ones. Shawty, don't tell your girls that Auntie Leah ain't seen Encanto. Don't tell them.
Don't tell them I ain't seen Frozen.
No, because they made everybody watch Encanto. Don't tell them.
No, well, I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, that's no.
I've seen both of Frozen.
They might not. I don't know.
Because in Frozen 2, I will stand by this. Frozen 2 has a better soundtrack than Frozen 1.
Okay. Angelique.
I get myself back together.
Give me a deadline and I will watch it. I
tomorrow.
Just take my Disney Plus.
Tomorrow.
You got a lot of work to do.
Wait, because I'm already got to catch up on my Marvel stuff because of Michael. So listen.
I take precedent.
A lot of work.
For real, dog. Do Disney first. Marvel will take. I had to take a break on Marvel.
10 days.
Yes.
I've knocked out my Iron Man, and I'm not a fan of Captain.
Well, I was on a roll of Marvel. Then I took a break. Then I was like, oh, but Moon Knight came out, so I was like, ooh, I gotta watch Moon Knight. So then I'm like, I still gotta get back. There's so many of them.
It's a lot. You know what I wish I had done 3 years ago? The movies when the the last movie came out, and they did a movie marathon of all of them, and it was like 53 or 55 hours, and certain theaters ran all of them all the way through.
We would have been done.
I had to buckle down, a blanket and a pillow.
I might watch some more this week because I got time, because they about 2 hours. They about 2 hours each, so I'm like,
right. So I've seen all the Iron Mans. Of course, I've seen Black Panther, and I have to take a break.
You got to take a break. You got to take another break.
But I am going to get back to it. Now I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to get back to the news.
I will say, I think
that WandaVision blessed my life. Now I watched that 5 times.
WandaVision is amazing. WandaVision is so. I like WandaVision because you watch it, then you watch it again, and you miss. It's like, oh, that scene at the dinner table, where I was like, what is happening? What is happening right now?
Right.
What is happening?
Scene,
What is this?
That was the first episode. Yeah.
I was like,
I got something late from that 70s show.
Yeah. But I'll give you till. Oh God, how many have you not seen?
We don't have a lot of time.
You haven't seen Prince and the Frog. You haven't seen Frozen 1 or 2. You haven't seen Encanto. Anything else you've been lied to me about?
Give me to the beginning of October, and I'll watch them.
I guess you got till October 1st.
Okay, because Princess and the Frog was like a thing. Like
they were all a thing.
So that means when Chantilly was visiting us, you were sitting there perpetuating the lie, enjoying the soundtrack. We was all you didn't tell nobody.
Listen, and I'm
you didn't tell nobody. Y'all ain't never saw this movie.
Wait, and I'm gonna be honest and listen to our podcast listeners. My nieces were here in December, and they kept playing the soundtrack, and I was so hoping they did not ask to watch this movie. I would have done anything in the world for them.
Y'all,
and I would have watched it for them. I would have.
Y'all listening? Just because if y'all miss it, so y'all know I'm doing it for you. I'm giving her the for shame face.
Let's get back to the news, because y'all doing too much. So
can I say something before you go back to the news?
Are you going to bash me and drag me?
You deserve it.
Go ahead.
No. It don't have nothing to do with you. It has something to do with Black people.
Okay.
So with the Little Mermaid movie coming out, like I really love that Halle Bailey is
okay. I would call her Haley.
I know.
Shawty, you cut out.
Right there. Okay. I was saying that I really like that she's the new Little Mermaid, but I kind of wish that we would stop trying to like push our way into other people's spaces or what other people think is their spaces and create our own.
I agree.
That's what I'm like. So like I'm glad that she is the new Little Mermaid, but this all like the pinnacle of success is not pushing our way into other people's spaces, is making our own way.
True.
Right. So like we have done our own version of Little Mermaid, is what you're saying.
Well, not even our own version of Little Mermaid. Just
why would she made? Why we make a musical with her as the lead in that musical?
Yeah,
that's not anything to do with it.
Yeah.
With that.
Well, what I hope is, and when I first heard this, what my hope was that this would be a kind of a diving board, if you will, a leap for her and other actresses who are more than qualified to be able to do what's needed to be done to do that.
Yeah, because I know I'm still going to watch it regardless of that, because I still remember the hate she got when it was first announced, and so many people try to act like it wasn't racism when it was. You had white grown men saying, no, it's not racism. It's mermaids can't be white. I mean, mermaids can't be black.
First of all, it's a fish.
I'm sorry.
It's a mythical
when have
fish.
you met a mermaid?
And what do you really think a mermaid looks like?
Okay. Like, really?
Like nationality?
Like, first of all,
that lives in the water.
if you saw what a mermaid would really look like, it didn't look like Ariel, because that's not. They do not. They would not look cute. Because they would have to like no. So I'm like no.
They're mutants like any other mutant.
Yeah, like no. So I'm like she got so much hate to where the original actress for Ariel had to come out. She was like, I support the casting of her. I'm proud of her. So I'm just like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, just let this girl live.
I tend to show up and
and
I don't go to many
what me
things.
And the girls gonna dress as.
I don't go to many things. The premiere.
Would it be wrong to dress as Ursula?
But I intend to go to that premiere. I do. And speaking of premieres, before I get into the rest of the news, which y'all have kept me from dragging my name in the streets because I don't watch.
Well, you were the one. You were the one that told us truth we didn't know. Sorry, we weren't prepared.
Of course, and of course, celebrating Black women. Of course, we know Viola Davis's feature film, The Woman King, premieres today. That trailer. I said, yes, Viola. And I intend to go watch that with my mom Z this weekend.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how I need to dress for that. Do I put on a warrior?
Not your mom Z.
My mom Z. Do I put on a warrior get up for that?
I don't know.
Would Florence be ready for that?
I don't know. Something got to happen. Something got to happen with that.
I don't know. But we are going to go see that and support Viola for that. The trailers for that have been just inspiring. I've watched a lot of the interviews, the work that those ladies put into it. They had to learn boxing. They had to learn MMA.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, hours upon hours they put. And what I thought was amazing was the director herself put in the same amount of work that all the actors did. All the hours of work that was required of the actors, she put in the same amount of time. I think that speaks volumes, and we applaud her for that.
Because at one point, it used to just be not doubles, but stunt doubles, and
those ladies all did it themselves. I mean, everybody has a double, especially someone like a Viola Davis, but she did all of the work herself. Going on in the news, of course, we know Queen Elizabeth II passed last week, and the UK is still in mourning. But what I thought interesting was the Crown viewership for the Crown surged on Netflix over this past week as people wanted to learn more historically about the life of the celebrated Queen.
Yeah, I do want to know more about her.
The Queen is in my Netflix queue.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't get to it, but it is in my queue. And I probably will watch it over the next week. I
have so many things in my queue. I might watch something. I'll probably watch some in my
queue that I forgot is in my queue.
I went to my one time and I was like, oh, look at that. Let me check that out.
But it is in mine.
Yeah.
We talked so much about the Queen last week. We totally didn't discuss that Serena Williams retired from tennis last week.
That's so mind blowing to me because it's like
I never ready. Even though I'm not a tennis fan, she's been a part of my whole. She's been a part of my life. Like her career has been a part of my entire formulation of life. You know, she started when we're about the same age, and so I felt that was a little bit shady. I'm not sure.
No, I didn't realize. I didn't realize y'all are about the same age. Like I just didn't.
We're about the same age.
I didn't think about it. So she been getting in for a minute.
I remember when those Beat It girls first stepped onto the tennis courts and they took the world by storm. It was like, say what? You know, that did not exist. That did not exist. Anything like them.
That was not.
Not only did we not see black girls, we did not see black looking girls.
Their hair, they didn't have breast hair, perm hair. They had braids and beads.
To see these sisters show up and blow the world away was as phenomenal as seeing Tiger Woods show up on the greens and blow the world away. And so just to see her retire and you know, she still was celebrated in her win. In her life, and her she didn't win, but it's her life. To me, she still won.
I mean, she's been doing this so long.
Her life is a celebration. Her life is an accomplishment, and I didn't get to watch it. I watched the highlights afterwards, and it was emotional for me. It was I think of some of the shows I watched, that final episode, and it's like the ending of an era, you know, like when Fresh Prince said, "Oh,
don't do
there's
it."
some shows that last episode.
Don't do it. It's been like it's only been
last
3 Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episodes that made me cry, and that was one of them.
The last episode of Fresh Prince, and because it feels like it's a part of your family.
Yeah,
she's been a part of my family, and so, but I know she's not done. She's only done playing tennis, and I would guess.
So now I'm wondering how long for that biopic come out.
Right, and I would guess that she's not off the court. She's probably just done competing on that level.
She might be like the one guy that used to yell all the time.
Buys a team. She's got a daughter that's coming up. I wouldn't doubt for one moment that her daughter plays tennis. You know, so where her life takes her.
She's not gonna be. She's not gonna be done.
We're still along for the ride, and we're still celebrating her. Also, last week, because I think it's important to mention, because he's a part of our history, the celebrated and famed journalist, African American journalist Bernard Shaw did pass, and he was at the age of 82. Wow. Bernard Shaw definitely has been a part of all of our lives and culture, and so that was sad. You know, I saw it, but I didn't see it at the time he passed, and so I definitely just want to acknowledge it, because anyone who has made history, we definitely want to acknowledge them on our show. Mm-hmm. The Phantom of the Opera announced today that they are closing after 35 years as of February 2023. No. Yes. That is one of my all-time favorites.
Oh my gosh. That's almost as old as I am.
It is 35 years old. Wow. That is one of the that is the
longest running
musicals.
One of the longest running.
Yeah. So I've never gotten to see it on Broadway. It's not one of the ones I ever felt like I needed to see. I have seen it in different various forms over the years. It is one of my favorite soundtracks. It is one that you need to be in the mood for. You don't just pop that in.
No, you'll be like, oh, let me clean my house with the Phantom of the Opera. No, that's not it. No.
But it is one of the ones I do know that for actors and actresses, if they can make Phantom, they have done it. It is one that you definitely have to have a trained voice.
Because there's some stuff. You don't just songs in there.
And so I hope that it closes out well. I'm glad that they got to come back to Broadway.
It's got to.
You know, because Broadway was down for 2 years. I'm glad that they've got to come back and close out, celebrate it. The last thing in the news, unfortunately, we kikied and laughed and chatted before we get further into our show, that I found sad. This was a little hard. I didn't realize Chantilly left us.
Yeah, she lost. She keeps losing internet connection. She's coming back on them.
So a young lady named Piper Lewis in Iowa was charged. Well, let me give you her story. She had a situation where she was allegedly, well, I don't believe allegedly, she was raped multiple times when she was 15. She was trafficked and raped. She is unfortunately doing time because she killed her rapist. She is locked up because in the state of Iowa, for them, murder is murder. And that is, and this is still a child. She's 17 now. She was charged at the age of 15. They just ordered her to pay $150,000 to the rapist because in the state of Iowa, again, no matter how the life expires, you owe restitution to that person's family. Justice is not prevailing for this young lady at all. Right now, she's facing the probability of 5 years probation in lieu of the possible 20 years sentence that she could face. So her life is forever altered and changed by what's been done to her. And on top of it, she has to pay this man's family for torture and trauma.
That's just disgusting.
I hate that she's in the state that she lives in. She should be living in a different state. And so my prayers go out to her and her family, because it's not affecting just her. It's definitely affecting her entire family. I'm going to do some more research into her and her life and this story, because it really shocked me when I read that this morning. We gotta pray about our babies, man, our daughters. This is just
and that's we're probably gonna talk about it again when we have spoiler alert, when we have our parents back on it soon. We're not gonna give you the date, but soon. But I'm so thankful for both of our parents, but I'm like, our dad did not play about his girls being anywhere he wasn't aware of. Like, we couldn't even just walk. Like, if it was somewhere at night, he was like, no, I don't want y'all walking somewhere at night. Like, so I'm like, I will never blame parents when I hear stuff happen to kids, but I will say, why were you not protecting your kids?
Right.
When it can be done. I'm not talking about the insidious people where you think they're safe. I'm talking about in situations where it's just like, why are you just trusting your kids out in the world and just, they'll be fine. Like, cause I don't know her situation, what happened, whatever. So I'm not going to go into that. But other situations I hear, I'm just like, what? You gotta watch your kids and your nieces and nephews and little cousins. If you are the adult, like, you shouldn't just let anybody have access to it. Like, I didn't play that with my nieces and nephews. Like, I don't know you. You're not going to be around them like that. So I'm just like, I'm definitely going to be praying for her, definitely going to be doing some more research, and I'll ask you later for stuff, because I'm like, if there's anything that can help her, if it's any organizations, they need to be trying to help this girl, because she does not deserve what's going on right now. She does not.
She doesn't. She doesn't. And, I definitely want to say on the side of parents who do all that they can do. We definitely, there are young people, young women who make their own choices. And so, I definitely feel like a parent who blames himself. Our dad definitely was one who watched over us, what we did. He told us the truth he was very governing about males. We wasn't alone with males. And this was well into our teens. Sometimes I think that parents get the mindset, once they're 12 or 13, where they can watch themselves. My dad was 16, 17, still watching us and watching over us and who was around us. And even into our womanhood, I can say, because I'm not married right now, that means that my father has oversight over my life now. And he takes that very seriously. So anything that happens to me, toward me, around me, with me, he takes very personally. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm not a little girl, but I'm his daughter. And so there should always be a relationship where that's reciprocal. So we both understand this, and both can communicate. And so as a daughter, you should always know that you can talk to your father and your father's always there. And as a father, that you're always making that known to your daughter that I'm here. So he was just always there. And I always knew that, even when I didn't choose to let him be there because I was an adult. I knew that only because I knew my daddy wasn't going to play and he could hurt somebody.
When it came to us, he did not play. He did not.
And so I've just always known who my father was for me and toward me and my sisters. And so, I'm grateful for that. But I'm so concerned how parents today are letting, especially young girls, make too many decisions on their own, or just they got it, or they have to learn. They're supposed to learn in the time and fashion that they're supposed to learn.
Yes.
But we're still supposed to be watching over them and guiding them, you know? And so I just, with all this sex trafficking and child trafficking, how are these people getting access to children? I can tell you this, it would have been, I would think, virtually impossible for someone to have tried that or gotten access to me and my sisters. How was you gonna get Pastor White, Leya Elijah? How?
Yeah. And we grew up knowing we don't just go with anybody. We don't just talk to, when I see, especially people that aren't parents, especially, and I'm not a parent, so, but I can still say this, I can definitely see when people are like, oh, you should let your children start making their decisions early and listen to your kids. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all ain't been around kids in a while, if you ain't talked to no kids, if you're not regularly around kids should not be making no decisions about themselves at all.
No.
I've worked, my 2 first jobs were at daycares, and I worked with infants to about 13. They cannot make decisions.
No, God, no.
Decisions. They cannot make major decisions. Like you should definitely listen to your child and talk to your child, have conversations with your child, and not just brush them off, ignore them. But you need to be the adult. You need to be the parent. Once they get to a certain age, go off. Let them do whatever. When they get grown, 18, I should say, whatever, 16, 17, yeah, they should start making more decisions. But when I hear people, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, have you had conversations with some 10 and 11-year-olds? Like, I remember a conversation I had, I want to say it was with Liara. And she was telling me something about one of her friends was telling her, and she was still in school, so she was a young teenager at least. She was young. And she was telling me, one of her friends was telling her, oh, if you have, I'm gonna help y'all YouTube, y'all don't get us in trouble, Essie, that all you have to do is jump up and down and you won't get pregnant.
Lord have mercy.
These are the people you think need to be making decisions for their life? When she told it out, this was like,
the things that some of my friends have told me.
I was like, jump up and down after and you won't get pregnant? And again, we're talking about 14-year-old, 15-year-old girls. These are the people you think need to be allowed to start making their own life decisions. And that's the logic they're using. Okay. Because I immediately told her that does not work. You will still get pregnant and you will just look stupid. Do not listen to you. And I told her, I said, do not listen to your friends. Ask your mama, ask your aunties. Do not listen to your friends. They do not know what they're talking about. So I'm like, I feel definitely even young women, 18, 19, 20, but definitely when you're talking about underage, protect them. They still need to be watched over and protected at that age still, to some degree. Obviously, you don't treat a 16-year-old like a 5-year-old, but right. They're not grown. They haven't experienced the world outside of some teenagers that have just gone through so much in life that they're just way more mature. But a general 16-year-old, they still don't know as much as they think they know. So they still need guidance, if nothing else.
And I think that some people will say, oh, well, I helped raise my siblings and I had to do a lot and I had a harder life growing up and I've heard those stories. I'm friends with people who have those stories and they're remarkable people. But here's the reality. These people are still young people. There's windows and pockets of time where you're still an adolescent and you even still being responsible for siblings, you still made adult decisions as an adolescent that even if you can admit in your 30s, 40s, or 50s you wouldn't do, now you did the best you could with what you had. And I can say, having counseled multiple people, mentored multiple people, and even just being close with multiple people in these scenarios, that almost all of these people grow up to be very bitter, not well-adjusted adults.
Because they're angry. They didn't have a childhood.
They gave up their childhood, or it was taken from them.
Yep.
Because they didn't get to be a kid.
Nope.
So that's still, not the best argument.
No,
I think anyone who's been in that position, and you looked out for your siblings, even had to take care of a parent, whether that was for alcoholism, drug abuse, or mental health, or whatever, we applaud you, because we don't want to dismiss anyone's life or background or upbringing, but there's a reason why a life matures the way it's supposed to mature, and the family structure is God-given, and so there's a reason why we have parents, and there's a reason why life is structured the way that it is, a family is structured the way that it is. And so, I'm not apologizing for saying that parents should be looking out for children. And if we don't have biological parents, then we just hope that there's somebody, whether that's aunts, uncles, grandparents, a family friend, is still looking out for children to protect them, because children just have to be protected. They just honestly do. And so it's just important that we are looking out for those littles, because, when there's no one to look out for them, we leave them to be hurt. And we can't have more situations like these young ladies, not just Piper, but I saw multiple young ladies who were sex trafficked, child trafficked, and having to fight for their life, are now facing time, serving time in juvenile homes, in prison, facing large amount of times for just protecting themselves or just not being able to take it anymore. And there's that line between, the law is the law, but where was the laws to protect these young people? And I think that becomes the question. Where's the laws to handle predators and pedophiles, or make sure children are in the homes that they're supposed to be in? And so that becomes the issue that we're discussing today. Maybe a little bit deeper than we intended, but still all the more important.
Exactly.
And so we're just thankful for our upbringing, and, to be the Elijah sisters, to be well-rounded, to be who we are, and to be in this family, to grow up healthy and well-rounded, and to be able to help others.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. So we're going to move on. That was a little bit heavy.
Yeah, we didn't expect to go down that road. Yeah.
Angelique, what is our this month again is Fruits and Vegetables Month. So we're going to have our featured vegetable for the week. And Angelique, what is our featured vegetable for this week?
Our featured vegetable for this week is spinach. Spinach is a vegetable that is actually our mother's favorite vegetable as well.
One of my favorites. I actually do I don't like a lot of green vegetables. I'll be honest about that, but I do like spinach.
We know. But spinach, I would say, well, I'll put it this way. If you don't like vegetables, you don't like vegetables, and there's not a lot you can do about it. But spinach definitely does have a milder taste than some vegetables that are, dark green. One of the benefits of it is it helps, some of it are boost the immune system, Helps your body defend against germs, and it also helps your heart. It boosts hydration, which I didn't know. It's almost all water. So if you add it to your meals or snacks or smoothies, anything like that throughout the day, you can get extra water in your system. So that's a bonus. Outside of just drinking water or anything like that. It helps curb your appetite. I was happy when I saw that. I was like, I might put some more spinach in my diet. They've had studies that suggested that it's an extract in it, the thylakoid extracts from plants like spinach may reduce your appetite. They lower levels of hunger hormone and raise hormones that make you feel full, and they can also make your stomach empty later. So that's a bonus, which I was like, I have noticed that when I've had spinach, and I never realized that's what it was doing. So that's, definitely something that's good to do. It helps prevent osteoporosis, especially women. That's one of our major things later in life. Is osteoporosis is one of our things that definitely happens to us a lot more. So anything that helps prevent that is a bonus. It has calcium, magnesium, and vitamin K. We spoke about this with bok choy, but definitely with vitamin K. If you're on certain medications, definitely be aware of that and don't eat too much if it's going to interact with certain things, because vitamin K can affect blood thinners and things like that. But as long as you're eating it in a normal amount, you should be fine. Caveat, not a doctor. That's what I'm just saying. All of those are healthy, good for healthy bones. Let's see. That's just, when I saw that, I was just like, oh God, yeah, anything, because I already take calcium, so I'm like, I'm gonna up my spinach for that. Because of the age I am, I definitely need more calcium. It cuts the risk of iron deficiency anemia. In my family, a lot of the women have anemia, so definitely anything that can help get rid of that and help with it is something I definitely want to start doing more of, because it's just something I need to be aware of in my family line. It's shown up in me as eating ice. But very I know I believe Chantilly has anemia.
Oh, she looks so pretty.
She does. Both of us. And other women in my family.
Like Mom. Hold on. She looks so much like Mom. That's scary for me.
She does. Now I was talking, Shauna, you don't do that. Do you have anemia, or you've had symptoms of anemia?
I have anemia. I have low blood.
I have anemia too.
You have okay. So I was saying spinach helps cut the risk of it, but we can't hear you. But that'll help with that. Spinach is a vegetarian source of iron. So if you're a vegetarian, you don't want to eat beef, red meat, anything like that, get you some spinach. It helps boost red blood cells, bring oxygen to different areas of your body. Definitely when you have too little iron, you can get the anemia, and then you might make you feel weak, dizzy, have trouble breathing. Which, finding that out, I was like, yeah, okay, I need to be careful of that. It strengthens the immune system. So, outside of just taking like stuff that has a lot of vitamin C, things like that, spinach does help with that. It has vitamins and minerals like vitamin E and magnesium, and those all support your immune system. That keeps you safe from viruses, bacteria, all that things that cause diseases. It also helps defend your body from other things that can hurt you, like toxins. Assists baby development. That was a new one to me. Did not know. There's a lot of folate in spinach, so it helps prevent neural tube birth defects like spina bifida in babies. If you know anything about spina bifida, if you don't know anything about spina bifida, definitely research it. You do not want somebody to have to go through that, or a baby to have to go through that. Yeah. So that's why when you're pregnant, a lot of times the doctors will tell you to take supplements that have folic acid, which is the man-made versions of folate. So that's why they're telling you that, to help prevent that. So if you ever get told, if they tell you take folic acid, that's what they're telling you. You also get
my doctor was like, Chevron oranges on me.
That's why it was like, take some of this folate. So you can also get vitamin B6 from spinach, which is important for your baby's brain to develop in your womb and even after they're born. So if you're pregnant, if you're trying to get pregnant, make sure you're taking spinach. If you know you want to make sure you don't, help prevent any birth defects, certain birth defects. It keeps your eyes healthy. It has lutein. Maybe they have
a little late to the game on that one.
Maybe it helps ease up some stuff. It has lutein and something else, and it also carotenoids in the spinach that lower your chance of having long-term eye conditions. For example, like vitamin C, they lower your odds of getting cataracts. So I don't want cataracts, so I'm going to up my spinach because I'm like, I already wear glasses.
And that's very much in our family.
These are not for fashion. These are not for fashion, so as long as I want to do something that helps me not deal with cataracts, I do not want to deal with that at all. You also get tons of vitamin A from spinach, which also helps support good vision. It helps fight free radicals. You can get antioxidants from fruits and vegetables, and spinach is one of those things as well. Antioxidants limit the harm that molecules called free radicals can do to your cells. Cell damage from free radicals have a role in illnesses like diabetes, cancer, and Parkinson's disease. So definitely, if you're trying to prevent those, help with those, eat more spinach. It supports cardiovascular health. Black people, as a black people, heart stuff, we need to be aware of and trying to help. So eat some more spinach, put some stuff in some salads, whatever you need to do. It has a nitrate in it, which studies suggest may lower your chances of getting heart disease. And it has research showing that it can lower your blood pressure. Again, something we need to be aware of as black people, definitely. It helps make your arteries less stiff, and it helps also you can get potassium from spinach, which keeps your heart working the right way. So a lot of this stuff, it helps people in general, but I know definitely coming from the African American community, a lot of this stuff really is something we need to be aware of. That's just, we're more prone to. It's an anti-inflammatory. So inflammation is part of how your body kind of like helps mend itself after you get hurt or come in contact with like poison ivy or something like that. But if you have long-term inflammation, that can be a problem. So eating foods like spinach that help with that and with anti-inflammation, helps kind of reduce that in your body, so you don't have issues that don't need to be there. Like arthritis can be inflammation and things like that. So obviously, when your body needs to do it, let it do it. But if you have excess, you don't want that going on. It helps with wound recovery. Didn't know that. The vitamin C in spinach, it has a lot of benefits, including helping your body make collagen, which helps, which you kind of need to repair injuries. Vitamin C also helps your body increase the amount of iron it absorbs from plant-based foods, which supports the healing process too. So spinach has iron in it, and it also helps your body absorb more iron. So that's always a bonus. Now, for the other fun stuff about it. Spinach has a lot of ways you can have it. You don't just have to put it in a salad or cook it. You can eat it many ways. You can eat it raw in a salad, blend it into a smoothie. Those are the best ways to get the best thing. You can cook it, but if you want to get all the benefits, try different ways raw. You can saute it. You can steam it. Frozen spinach is another way you can have it for like soup, stews, and egg dishes and stuff like that. But if you defrost it, just make sure you squeeze out all the extra water. And of course, frozen is not the best version of spinach, but if that's what you got, that's better than nothing. When you buy spinach, make sure you're looking for the leaves that are extremely green. If they're pale looking, or the stems that don't look yellow, avoid bundles of spinach with leaves that have like bruises on them or looking droopy. I've seen all those in stores. Don't buy that. Leave that right and move on. You would almost be better getting frozen. So don't buy it if it looks slimy. Again, I've seen all this in stores before. If you store it, do not wash it before you store it. A lot of people do that, and I don't know why if you're not going to eat it right then. Don't wash it before you store it because that'll make it go bad faster. If you store it, when you store it in the refrigerator, put it in a plastic bag that's made for storing food, like a Ziploc bag or something like that. Make sure you get all the air out and wrap the bag tightly around it. If it's stored the correct way, it can only last up to 5 days. So spinach is not a food you buy and it's like, oh, I'm gonna eat it in 2 weeks. No, you won't. You won't. It'll be bad by then. So spinach is definitely a food you get to eat within a week. So those are just some of the benefits. It's way more if you do more research, dig a little deeper, everything about it. But you really can do a lot with spinach. I've even put spinach in like fruit smoothies, not just like green vegetable smoothies. Like I've put in like strawberry, mango, banana, all that kind of stuff, and then put a few leaves of like baby spinach in it, and it still tastes fine. So definitely add spinach to what you can add it to if you want the benefits for it, but you definitely don't want to. If you don't want to taste the taste of raw spinach, put it in a smoothie. You still get all the benefits for it because it's still raw, and that'll help you out. That's my spinach review.
All right. Give me some spinaches. All right. So we're about to move into our show, but I wanted to make sure that we knew that this week was National Ballroom Dance Week.
No. Girl, don't tell me that.
I actually love ballroom dance. I actually really do.
I love a good ballroom dance.
I really wish I had gotten into ballroom dance. It is the hummingbird. It's the hummingbird celebration from yesterday till Sunday. Okay.
Yay!
Hummingbird.
Hold on, now I'm finna look for the spiritual man, the hummingbird.
Hummingbird. Why?
I'm pretty sure it has something to do with Mercury, and Mercury is retrograde and exalted right now.
Okay. Give me something more than just hummingbird. Give me something special, because that's just a hummingbird by itself ain't doing it.
They are pretty.
That's
Very pretty. This is also Clean Up the World weekend, starting today until Sunday.
Okay.
I used to really be into that when I was a teenager. Not like fanatic about it, but I really did feel like people should care more about the world, the earth, and all that type of stuff. And then I just didn't. This sounds so horrible, but I just didn't have time for it anymore.
Captain Planet had you geeked up.
Captain Planet.
But I really do.
You're gonna take Melusa down to zero.
Oh, Lord have mercy. These are my sisters. We will sing anything and everything. This is the end of. No, we did line dance this week. Okay, so today is the 16th. Today is Cloud Appreciation Day.
Cloud.
How do you appreciate a cloud?
I appreciate a good cloud on a beautiful sunny day.
Yeah, I appreciate a good cloud.
On a beautiful cloudy day, rather. But clouds are nice and fluffy. When I'm flying, I'll tell you this. When I fly, I love to fly through the clouds.
Yeah.
You have a different appreciation for clouds when you're right inside of them or above them. You see them differently. Mm-hmm. Not so much when you fly through them when it's raining.
No.
You need to handle that. But I do enjoy that. They're just so beautiful when you're up there with them. It's National Step Family Day. I have been a part of that, and it is important to celebrate blended families. This National Tattoo Story Day. My one thing I am very proud of and love her for is to know my daughter is to love her. My daughter is one of the most inked up females I think I know. Miara has, I don't even know if she knows how many tattoos she has at this point.
I don't think she does.
And that's fine. She's one of the women who's made tattoos beautiful to me. And one of the things she first told me when she first started getting tattoos, and she don't have like teeny little cute, like little, little rose here. She has like sleeves and her whole leg done, and she drops money when she gets tattoos. But all of her tattoos have a meaning. And one of the things she first said to me was, Mommy, when you see somebody with a tattoo, you should ask them the story behind their tattoo. People have a reason behind them. Because I didn't realize until she got her first tattoo, because I was very adamant with my children that they couldn't get tattoos till they were 18, that I actually had a prejudice toward tattoos, and how serious and deep it was. And I was very judgmental against people with tattoos. Mm-hmm. We're always working on ourselves and always dealing with ourselves and always letting God work on us. But I wasn't for sure going to judge my child and have a prejudice toward her. So it was immediate, fix it. And she asked me, what is your issue with tattoos? And I didn't have an answer for it. And I feel like when someone confronts you and you're in that position, then you need to deal with it, and so I deal with it with myself. And so, I can't count how many times I've been in and out the hospital, and that was the first place that I began to ask people. So I would see my nurses and I would say to them, I like your tattoos. Can you tell me the story behind your tattoo? And most people have literally brought me to tears, the stories behind their tattoos. Some people have some emotional stories behind their tattoos, whether it's their life being saved, a family member, a memorial to someone. And so I encourage you will be amazed the stories you'll hear if you just ask somebody to explain the story behind their tattoos. You'll be blown away by the stories that you hear. So today's National Tattoo Story
I had
Day.
An ex, he had a lot of tattoos. But he would have, people would, he told me a story one time. An old woman came up to him one time and was just assumed he didn't believe in God, and he it was all kinds of stuff, because he just he had a lot of tattoos. He had his a sleeve on, or he had tattoos. And so many people judge it's a tattoo. I don't know how you connect those two.
That's a judgment.
How do you connect? Oh, he has tattoos, he must not be saved. He was just I believe in God.
Yeah, and tattoos are permanent too. People can go through a lot of things between getting their tattoos and where you see them now.
Right.
Him personally, he was he still wanted to finish his sleeve. One of them, he wasn't one of those people that was wanted to get it removed. But I just was I like tattoos, and I've thought about getting a tattoo. I just don't want to get anything that's just something I cannot stand people just get a tattoo that doesn't mean anything. That's too permanent for me to just be I'm gonna put a random flower on me. No, I want it. If I'm gonna ever get one, it's gonna mean something. But if I got one, I do know people that are close to me wouldn't judge me for it. They'd be oh, why'd you get it, and be done with it.
Right.
So I'm just I'm glad that you kind of saw. I always applaud people that see stuff and work and change and see. Okay, I need to work on that. I need to.
You know what? I see it so much to the point that I've actually come to the other side of it, to where I'm 100% sure I want one. Mm-hmm. But I'm like you. It has to have its own meaning. So.
And I've seen, I kind of had mental several designs, but I was what do I want?
I know that I want my organization. This is what a fighter looks like. Its logo, but the logo had to be perfect. And I know I want something that commemorizes my relationship with my children, because, it's no secret. I have, been married before, but my relationship with my children, even I think more so since they've become adults, has become this cemented bond. And so, there is somebody in my life and somebody that I believe I'm spending the rest of my life with. But at the end of the day, men come and go. But those three people,
yeah,
I got them and they got me, and we share DNA for all of eternity. And now I got this sweet little grandson. So, it's just, we've talked about creating some type of family emblem that is ours. And it's so funny because,
if I ever got one, it would only be like nieces and stuff. It would never be just a random boyfriend or something like that.
When we first talked about 3 years ago, it was, everybody was all for it. But the person who has no room on their body is my daughter. So it's just like, we were like, well, we'll do it, and everybody will do it, on their arm or something.
She run out of space, you do it quick.
I don't know where she's gonna put her.
And she playing to get some more.
We're gonna all put it on the same spot, and now I'm just like, Lord have mercy. I don't know where
we're gonna have to get on the bottom of her feet.
She's had to walk around and picture her phone like, this is where mine is. And then since then, Dwight has a sleeve, and then Daniel's planning to get a sleeve. So now I'm just like, Lord, never mind, because I'm not getting a sleeve.
Oh no, I don't want a sleeve. I don't want a sleeve.
But I will say that, and I don't care who knows or who judges me for it. That's my person. And don't give me scriptures from the Old Testament. I'm not here for it. Save it, hold it, swallow it. I'm not. That's your personal.
Nobody asked you. My thing is, then if you don't believe in them, don't get one.
Right.